So the rotation of Vishnu is going to be a little bit difficult to follow because you need to be a bit precise with some of the things, especially with the summoning. You want to summon them at like an ideal time, which I will tell you in the battle. So the special effect is if you do technical damage, you increase your own attack and free damage. Then foes with burn will take more damage, then sweeper damage increase. So like I said, the bosses will summon at different times. So it's going to start with 1, then when you fall below 90%, it's going to summon 2, then below 60, it's going to summon another 2. So you need to time well to reach this threshold. You want to reach this threshold on the first action of the turn. The reason is because you want to align the Vishnu all together, 5 in a row, because of the debuffs. I'll explain more in the battle. But this is the team. So I'm going to all in the other side because similar reason to the SOS, I cannot put regular wind with Tempest Wind. So if I put Futaba here, the only other option I have is regular wind. Ocean just isn't good enough. And the other side also needs a lot of defense debuff. It has an extra 100% defense debuff. Because even if I have Phoebe, if I use Phoebe on the other side, I need a lot of defense debuff. So I might need to use like a Vino or something. Which means that I'll be sacrificing like a Tweet, which isn't really worth it. And then when I all in this side, when I say all in, I mean I put all the best supports and best persona. So stuff like Dionysus, Futaba, Tweets. I got only to 120 million. Other side, with an all-in team, 150 million. Quite a big jump. So I think the play is actually to all in the other side. At least for equal awarenesses. For A0, R0. So Fire in, she is running Strive and Acceptance, just 5-star weapon. Then you need 11.4% pierce in battle. And then around my crit rate in battle. But it also depends on some stuff because I have A1 core. A1 core gives me an extra 15% crit rate. So you might have to adjust things accordingly maybe. Then we have Court, he is running Relation and Conciliation. He has a 5-star weapon, touch screen. Then we have Matoi, she's running Faith Utility, 5-star weapon, touch screen. On Navigator we have Regular Wind, she's running Integrity Labor, she has a 5-star weapon, touch screen. So the Dagger, Ex Machina. The Purgatory is a pretty bad weapon, it's terrible. You only use this weapon when you are using Howler, because you need 2 fire skills per turn. And you need R3 Purgatory to be better than a maxed out Ex Machina. And my defense already overcapped, so Direct Compass is useless. So persona, I'll be using the new persona, the Nian Soul. So this persona actually works pretty well for DoD, or the weakened state boss. Because the debuff lasts for 2 turns, this thing also lasts for 3 turns, so I can use it on the turn that I break, and I'll apply a debuff for the entire weakened turns. And the nice thing is that this actually buffs continuous damage, which is DOT. And I'll actually break with a Rin skill 2, because a Rin skill 2 actually applies DOT, the year-end flame stack, this one. This thing is considered DOT. Burn is not continuous damage. The Nian doesn't buff this burn, but it buffs the year-end flame. You can break with a skill 2, and the DOT does a good chunk of damage and can do like 300-400,000 damage. But if you break with a skill 2, it means that on the first break turn, you won't have the extra 10% crit rate. But I think I tested already, it's better to break with a skill 2. And the nice thing is that the skill 2 actually, the DOT actually gets buffed by attack, because it scales on Win's own attack. You can see that take damage based on Yaoling's attack. So the other persona we have is Drone. Drone will give him Rebellion to buff the crit. Nice thing is that using Rebellion can also trigger this, so you can get damage up and crit at the same time. Then finally, we have Dominion with Cohesion. Just another reminder that Win's enhanced melee attack does count as a skill. So the commandment stack here actually can trigger to increase her melee attack. As for turn order, Court third, like this. I think you should follow 1, 2, 3, 4. Or else it's gonna be very difficult to follow. Because of, like I said, the threshold, the HP threshold, you need the 90 and the 60% HP to try and force them to summon on the turn, if that makes sense. You want to force them to summon at a specific time, basically. First turn, you just do an attack with Wonder. Then we can guard here. And then we're gonna skill 2 Wonder. If your core is A0, you can just guard here, but because my core is A1, Rin has the cold star, so I want to redirect the cold star to Wonder, so that Rin doesn't accidentally kill. Then I do a guard with Rin. So we do a skill 1. After the skill 1, the Vishnu should summon. Very important, you want to summon the Vishnu on the first section of the turn. The reason is because you want to align the Vishnu in a row. You can see that it's 3 in a row, right? The final 2 Vishnu, you also want them to be 5 in a row. You don't want the Vishnu to be in the middle. The reason is because when you use a debuffing skill, like a defense debuff or damage taken increase, if the Vishnu is the middle, the Vishnu will take action and the turn will count down by 1. So let's say you use a wind skill 1, it's 2 turns, right? If the Vishnu is middle, it's gonna go down to 1 turn. Then the other Vishnus is gonna be like 2 turns, so it's gonna be inconsistent. Some will have 1 turn, some will have 2 turns. But to prevent that, you want to put everything in line, in a row, so that when you kill the boss, when you break the boss, all of them will have the same debuff turns, and none of them will have like 1 turn less, which will reduce your damage overall in the final 2 weakened states. So now you do a Throne Sukukaja, aim on Rin. The reason is because we're gonna use a Rin skill 2 later on, which will increase the chance basically if you're Sukukaja to inflict the DOT. Then you do a Court Highlight. We do our extra highlight here is to buff the Court's weapon, because Court's weapon gives you permanent attack buff. When you use the highlight up to 3 stacks I think, then we can just guard with Matoi. Court we can guard also, so you need to really do your damage control, right? Then I'm gonna do a skill 2. You don't want to summon now, you want to wait a little bit. Then we want the boss to take the DOT. I don't think that's enough. I think we have another tick. Is that enough? I'm not too sure if it's enough. But what I'll do is I will just go to Nian. I'm gonna guard, and they have to summon here. If they do not summon, you need to reset. They do summon, that's beautiful. So you can see now it's 5 in a row. So this is what you want to see. Because right now we can do a skill 1 from Matoi, because we use a skill 2 from Rin just now, right? Which can inflict burn, then we can do a skill 1 with Matoi to spread the scout. So you can imagine that if let's say if there's a Vishnu here, right? Then I use a Matoi skill 1, which lasts for 3 turns. The Vishnu that's here will reduce the turn from 3 to 2. Then every other Vishnu is gonna be 3 turns, so it's gonna be inconsistent. And during the weakened turn, the last turn, the debuff will wear off. And the way you prevent that is just to align all the Vishnu together, so they all act in a row. So no Vishnu is stuck in the middle of your characters. So you do a skill 1 here to spread the burn to become scout. And then you can do a Wonder skill 3. You do this to debuff with Nian. The debuff highlight. Then here with Rin, ideally the play is actually to do a skill 1, but we cannot do that because it's gonna kill, it's gonna break. Sadly, we still don't have the button to control when you break, because in the other version you actually have a button like somewhere here, you can click it to make it so that the boss will always have like 1 HP or something, so you won't break it. Then you can trigger or toggle it when you want to break. So the ideal play is skill 1, but we cannot do that, so we're gonna guard. Then this next turn is when we break the boss. We should be fine here, more than fine. So now we are going to do a Matoi highlight. We are gonna skip the wind skill 1 by 1 action, because if we do a wind skill 1, I'm scared that it will do too much damage. So it's just part of the damage control. So we're gonna do a Matoi highlight first, and then we actually no, I'm gonna do this first. The highlight. Then I'll use a Nian. Then I do a wind skill 1, because I'm scared the Nian signature skill will do too much damage. Yeah, I do a skill 1. Then I do a skill 3 here. This will be the enhanced skill 3 because you have 4 stacks of extinguish. I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure this should survive. Barely, by a few thousand. Yeah. 6,000. If you struggle to keep up, or if you kill too early, you can just skip the Wonder, the Court skill 3 or Wonder just now. You'll lose a bit of damage, but I think it's fine. Then we do a Court skill 2 on Rin. And then we do a skill 2. We break with a skill 2. The reason is to apply the DOT. The DOT can do extra damage. And you also use the Nian just now, right? The Nian increases damage taken. Oh, I guess no. Increases continuous damage. The signature skill here increases damage, the DOT. And Wind skill 2 is a DOT, not the burn. The burn doesn't get buffed by the Nian, but this year-end flame does get buffed, so you can do more DOT damage. So we're gonna break a skill 2 and pray as much DOT as possible. Ooh, I think I got 4 out of 5. This is the first time I got it. That's pretty good. Let me check. Okay, that's pretty good. Then I do a Drone Rebellion. Drone Rebellion can buff crit and also trigger the overclock. The damage up. I see the damage up there. It'll be 12% because I'm overclocked 2. Then I do a Wind skill 3. Then I can just do my 2 skill 1. The scout doesn't really matter anymore because we already inflict. Then we do a core skill 1. We just attack. Then we court highlight. So here you have to use a skill 1 to buff your own crit. And also the second sentence says that you'll buff the immediate attack on 1 turn, which is going to be your next turn, which we will use. We'll do a skill 1 here. Skill 2 activated. If only it's like 1 action earlier. And then we do a 82,000 times 5. That's 400,000 from DOT. That's pretty good damage. Then cohesion. Then we do a Wind skill 3. Then skill 3 again. Just a reminder that you can actually stack the skill 3, because you will see that there's going to be 3. You see the cold flames? This from skill 3, and then this one, extinguish and recurrent guidance. So it says that the greater effect will apply. So you don't have to worry about overwriting or if it will stack. It will not stack. You will take the bigger one, bigger number. Then do cold skill 3. Okay, then we activate and then check your crit. My crit should be just about nice. 101.9. Then we do a highlight. Then the final attack. This should be a new high score for this rotation. Hopefully 80. Oh yeah, 80, let's go. 82, that's pretty decent. For the other side, we have the Frostgalmon boss. Special effect is the crit damage and attack for resonance increase. Then the more times you hit the boss, the more buff you get. Then this one, you need to take note of this one. Defense increased by 100%. So when you do your defense calculation, make sure to add another 100% to the defense coefficient, because you get an extra 15% damage buff, and its final damage also. Then the boss gimmick itself, very simple, just hit them a bunch of times, multi-hitting moves, then you'll get more buff. So like I said just now, we are going to all in this side. With Futaba, with Dionysus, with Twins, all the strong supports we put here. And this is actually, I think this is the exact same rotation as like last month when Howler was released, and I said something like Howler is not even needed here because we have a lot of defense debuff. We have Futaba, we have the Sign Nuke skill that can give pierce rate, we have Starry Compass, we have Mark from Yellow Sick, we have Vishnu debuff, we have a bunch of debuff, so we don't need Howler. We don't need any debuff, we don't need VISHNU also. So first girl I want, she is running Rhythm and Trial. She has the first weapon. Then you need around 18% pierce in battle, and you also need around 45% crit rate in battle if you want to cap the crit and also your defense debuff. Then the support, Tempest Wind, she is running Creation Worthy, first weapon, touch screen. Then we have the Twins, they are running Departure Control, this is required. They have first weapon, touch screen. Then Navigator, Futaba. We are going to all in this side like I already said. Shell Result Label for defense debuff, first weapon, touch screen. Then the Dagger, Starry Compass, this is very much required because again, you have extra 100% defense coefficient to debuff, so we need a lot of defense debuff. First persona we are Vishnu with the signature skill because you can defense debuff and also increase wind damage taken when the target already has wind swept. Then we have Diagnosis for the Revolution. If you cannot get around 45% crit rate, you can run Rebellion instead. Then we have Yanosik for the Rakunda, which can also trigger the Mark, which gives a lot of defense debuff. That is easily like 80% already. And for turn order, you ideally want Twins to be number 1, Mont at last. Then these two swapping I think should be fine. First turn, Twins use Fire Ice. Then we skill 3 with Tempest Wind. Then you do Vishnu, debuff defense with take Wind Swept. Then we skill 3 with Mont. If we have the button to trigger when to break, then I would extend one more turn to try and get more stacks for Mont. That is without skill 2. I set that because I think her passive, on her passive, can give her a permanent attack buff depending on the number of HD stacks she gets. This one, oh no, it's an awareness A0, but up to 7 times. So we can extend one more turn to try and get more stacks, basically. You can do a side nuke. Cannot really use any highlight here because we don't have enough actions to squeeze 3 highlights total. This is also the break turn. Then we do a skill 1, make sure we inflict Wind Swept, very important. Okay, we got it. Then we do a Yanosik Rakunda. Inflict both the Rakunda and the debuff, the Mark, because we need a lot of defense debuff because there's extra 100% defense coefficient. Then we break with skill 2 because skill 2 gives you 1 extra of HD stack. This is to again buff the A0. Then we do the type of skill 1. Then we do a Tempest Wind highlight, or Twins highlight also. I think they're about the same. You can just swap between the two and see which one gets you higher score, but they should be about the same. Then we skill 3 with Twins. And then skill 3 with Tempest Wind. And then we can go Dionysus and then Revolution. Then you can check your Mon's crit plus 7.5% because of the Triumph card set. I overcapped by quite a bit. Then I do a skill 3. It's because of the Twins amplification, the skill amplification from Twin skill 3. If we tap a skill 3, it's a big damage turn. Then Fire Ice. Then we can do a Tempest Wind skill 2. Don't need to skill 1 anymore because we already applied the debuff just now. Free break. Then we skill 2. Off the attack. Then we can do a Vishnu. So the boss needs to have a Wind Swept so that you can apply the extra effect, which is to increase wind damage taken. Then we do a Mon skill, Mon highlight. Then skill 1. It should be around 150. So I scored a lot higher compared to the other side. That's a new record.